turn it over to you and allow you, sir, and ask of you to give us our current data, cameras, statistics, and the cruiser statistics that govern Indian Head Highway for the month of February to March. So Major Mitchell, we turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. For the 210 stats, the only thing we have this month are going to be the officer generated stats because the vendor is having issues with the numbers that he actually submitted. So I had to give them back to him, and he's actually trying to reconfirm and reevaluate what they're getting from their tabulations. There have been 593 traffic stops to date for the officers out of Division 7 and Patrol and SOD. Out of those 593 traffic stops, you have 615 moving violations, 795 warnings, 99 equipment repair orders for a grand total of 1,509 citations. And that's from January 1st up until March 19th of this year. And there have also been 1,624 pedestrians contacted as far as the pedestrian initiative that we have on the northern end of 210.
Okay, well, Major Mitchell, since we don't have the camera statistics and for the numbers that you have given us, would you like to elaborate on what you see and your personal, I guess, viewpoint of things? Are we getting better, about the same, or how do you see things in your viewpoint?
Well, I mean, the officers are continuing to do traffic enforcement on 210. But when the officers do traffic enforcement, we don't have the speeds for the violations that they actually turn in. Those are recorded from the cameras. So, I mean, definitively, it's nothing really different that we can say on this end. The only thing that I'll have, and it's pretty much it's for Peter, is as far as Route 5 goes, Branch Avenue, if you go and look at the area that's below Southern Maryland Hospital, that area, like I think a 3-mile stretch has been designated a speed awareness area with a special enforcement zone.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out what exactly is the special enforcement zone. Does that carry like different fines, penalties? I mean, what exactly is that and how was it actually formulated?
No. So there is speeding occurring in the area along Maryland 5. We're trying to address safety concerns that were raised by the residents who live off of Birch Hill Road, Earnshaw Drive, and then Moores Road to the south of that, where the Royal Farms is. It's just north of where the Brandywine Road interchange was just recently built. And what that was supposed to do was to grab people's attention that the speed limit is 55 and to drive close to the speed limit. What we have found is that it's not having the effect that it's supposed to have. There is no additional fine associated with it. It's purely for grabbing the residents, the motorists, the commuters' attention to the 55-mile-per-hour speed limit. So, there are various things that are traffic control devices that are tried, and this was one of those ones that, from my perspective, has not had quite the effect that we were hoping that it would have. So we have to try something a little bit different than what was done on Maryland 5, because we still have the speeding problem. What we had done in terms of enhancements was to put the yellow placards. We then put rumble stripes, which are the ones that were like the ones that were placed exiting southbound I-295, where it merges into Maryland 210. Those were the kinds of devices that were placed along both directions of Maryland 5, approaching both of those intersections. And, you know, it has an effect for the first few weeks, and then it kind of, you know, wears out after a while. So we're back. So to answer your question, Ron, I believe over there, I think it is, I want to say it's a combination of state police and possibly the county. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head if I've asked Corporal Carson for information in the past. And so I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Major Mitchell, do you know if the county have you done any enforcement over there? Otherwise, I think it is the state on that portion of Maryland 5.
It's state police, but county police
Yeah.
also patrols in that area as well.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, it's the reverse of what's happening on 210. So over here, we would have to try something different here. And I don't know what that I've been batting around what that different is, and I need to vet that with the Office of Traffic and Safety, because the last thing I want to do is harm the patient further than the way it's operating right now. So I mean, right now what we have, as you are aware, are those advanced flashers approaching a couple of the traffic signals where the traffic signals are spaced really far apart. So for example, if you're heading southbound on Maryland 210, the first signal is at Palmer Road, and there is an advanced flasher approaching that intersection. Then there's another one along southbound 210 approaching Farmington Road, because that's a really long stretch. In the northbound direction, there's one approaching 228, because that's the first traffic signal north of the Charles County line. Another one approaching Old Fort Road South. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, those are the ones. Yeah, in that direction. So, so you know.
Okay,
You have
so
to-
do you think
yeah.
those signs would be effective on the 210 corridor from the point of where the cameras are actually able to be located? Say, for instance, 210 southbound at Old Fort Road, all the way down into the Charles County line, and then on the northbound side from the Charles County line back up to that same intersection, in addition to the cameras that we already have.
Having the speed awareness zone.
Right, the speed awareness, those signs, the same that you have on Branch Avenue.
We can look into it. We can look into it and see if that makes sense to place them there. You're looking at primarily from the Charles County line to, let's say, Farmington Road area.
Well, no, I was basically looking for the area that the cameras are actually allowed to be in, which is the starting point is 210 southbound at Old Fort Road at the Livingston Square intersection, all the way down, and then all the way down from the Charles County line back up northbound to the same location. Just maybe a couple of signs posted in each direction, in addition to the cameras that we already have there. We're just trying to do what we can to just keep people slowed down and try to change these behaviors.
Say that last part again, instead of what?
I say we're trying to see if the signs would be beneficial for us as well as the cameras, because what we're trying to do is between the cameras and these signs, like to change people's driving behaviors to get them to slow down.
Got it. Okay. All right. 10-4.
Okay. see, Major Mitchell, was that the extent of your questioning for Peter?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for the presentation and the idea that you're presenting. I don't know what these signs look like, but anything I think can be another enhancement to do exactly what you're, you know, looking for it to accomplish, to change the behavior, to kind of bring awareness of where people are in their driving behavior. I think every little bit helps. We just never know. That might be the one thing that keeps an accident from happening at a particular time in a particular driver. So I think anything we can get in that direction would be good for all of us. But I'll just use those last comments that you all made between the two of you as a segue to go right to you, Peter. You have the next slide on the presentation to move forward. And just to announce, I think pretty much all of us who are accustomed to working with this on this committee, we know Peter Caponides is our State Highway Administrative Representative, and we want to just again always welcome you, Peter, and thank you for your presentations, but also your commitment to us in the full time of the establishment of this committee, the 4 years plus. So Peter, we'll turn it over to you and what you have to give us for any updates on the roadway and any other pertinent information we should have.
Dr. Screen, I had my hand raised. I had a
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry,
For the
Deborah.
major before he, because we don't have the information, remember we were taking a running total so that, you know, because his office wasn't doing the totals between from month to month.
Mhm.
So that we could have that overall data at the end of the year to present to the Maryland General Assembly to justify keeping the cameras. I wanted to make sure that we stay on track with that once he does get the most recent data from the camera company that's collecting that data.
Yeah,
Because we need to continue, because again, his office is not doing the rolling data and the difference from month to month. You were keeping track of that on behalf of the 210 Safety Committee. So I just wanted to reiterate that we
Yes.
still need that information.
yes, and I'm glad you brought that up, Tamara, that we do need Major Mitchell, did you get any indication when the vendor would be completing this information that he did not give us this time around?
No, I gave you everything I had. You have to remember the vendor reports to the Automated Enforcement Division.
Right,
So I made contact with Automated Enforcement Division and they contact the vendor.
okay.
And as of today, as of this meeting time, they did not have these numbers available for us.
Okay, so did they indicate when they would be completed? Yeah, that to turn over to you?
No, the vendor does not have direct contact with me. Like I
Okay.
said, we go through Automated Enforcement Division. Automated Enforcement Division does not have this information. As soon as this information is available, I will give it to you and the committee will have it. But they don't report to us to tell us when they're gonna fix their system or what their problems are internally with their company.
Okay. Okay. Were there any other questions for Major Mitchell? Okay,
Excuse me, Reverend Doctor, this is Joseph Trapani. I
Yeah.
kind of had an overlapping question and observation. I was going to bring it up during Peter's discussion. In January, Peter was talking, as he does, about the progress on the construction on the 210 interchanges.
Mhm.
And he mentioned a term that part of it was to increase the conspicuity of the signals. And I want to convey an observation that I had. Actually, it was back in January, and I was going to bring it up at the January meeting, but there was so much dialogue and conversation, I just let it go. I was northbound on 210, and I stopped at the light, at a red light, at the intersection of northbound 210 and Old Fort Oxon Hill Road, the Livingston Square light. I did not realize that there was a new sign on the horizontal light bar saying no turn on red. Well, I was probably not the only one that didn't notice it, because while waiting for the light to turn green, everybody who pulled up in the right turn lane just turned right on red. Well, some of them didn't stop, but anyway. And I was just wondering, I've seen it recently again. Matter of fact, the US.
Guys, stop it!
Oops, sorry. I thought I was on mute.
That's all right, Peter.
Gosh. I
We all
thought I
need a
was
good
on mute.
laugh.
Sorry about that.
We all need a
That's
good
why
laugh.
you didn't, at least you didn't see my face when I was doing that. I'm sorry. That was a little
Oh.
loud.
So there were a number of individual drivers making right turns when the light was red, despite the sign, including a U.S. Postal Service mail truck while I was there last week waiting for the light to turn green. And I was just wondering, I have seen, Peter, an outline around some signs, like a yellow reflective pattern around some signs that I might want to suggest be placed around that sign, because either everybody's being disrespectful, and I
Which
can
they
understand
are.
that.
Which they
I can
are.
Yeah, I can understand that. Or they just don't see it. And I have to admit, back in January, I did not see it because I think it was new to that configured intersection. So I just want to make that observation. And Major Mitchell, like I said, they're just blowing by that right turn on red. No right turn on red sign.
The
Thank
reason, and just thank you. And the reason why the no turn on red sign was up is because there was some issues with the way the intersection was operating with Old Palmer Road coming in on the east side of the intersection. And we had made a decision to change the lane designations along that approach. And what we were attempting to do was to keep the intersection open so that motorists coming out of Old Palmer Road could come in and make the turn without having the traffic coming from northbound 210 to make the left and then make the turn, because that movement, we've seen that movement, it was dangerous. And in order to make that approach operate better, we put up that sign. And it is a delay for that movement, but it's there to make the intersection operate safer. So and I mean, I think it has had some effect in terms of eliminating that dangerous movement, but there needs to be enforcement. That's the bottom line. So but yeah, that would be an enforcement issue. The sign that's up there is that is our standard sign that we would put up based on the characteristics of Maryland 210. So traffic is supposed to come to a stop at the very least to, at least take notice of what's there. And it sounds like they're not, which, it seems like it's par for the course in terms of people just kind of ignoring some of the traffic regulations.
Okay,
Um,
well, Peter, I don't know if that's your full reply on the question, but I did want to just, I don't know if the gentleman can, Joseph can, if that's all that you needed to ask him, or is there an extension to your question? But I did want to just give you the floor in terms of, if you need to, completely, there's just another part to that question needs to be answered, but also this to give you the segue to move into what you would normally present to us once again. So I'll you just continue this, roll right into your normal presentation. Joseph, is that complete to you, or do you need further explanation?
Well, Reverend Doctor, obviously Peter is saying the sign as installed on the arm is the standard configuration sign.
Okay,
And my question to Peter was, I thought I had seen some configurations of maybe not that sign, but others where there is a high visibility reflective border around the sign that more calls attention to the fact that the sign is there. But if I understand you, Peter, you're saying for 210, that's what we got.
Correct. I mean, we would, so at least along state roadways, if we, as far as special borders are concerned, the only ones that I've seen with that kind of special border would be for the traffic signals themselves, where we have that that retroreflective yellow contrast border with the black signal heads. The other signs would not have that kind of border placed on them. However, I have seen them on the county roadways in various jurisdictions. So you're not, and as of late, what we've done is we're adding reflective tape along the posts of do not enter and wrong way signs to make them more conspicuous that motorists should not be driving in that direction. That's obviously they would be going the wrong way. But in terms of around the signs themselves, we haven't adopted anything like that yet.
Okay, well, thank you, Peter. And I didn't mean to suggest that it was only possibly Maryland where I have seen that. I've driven roads all across this country. And
I know.
It could have been some other state that I saw it, and I'm just projecting that, I saw it in Maryland. But
Sure.
Thank you for your response. And I'll just, people got to be careful of that intersection.
Yes.
Peter, did you have
Yes,
some other
I do.
insights there? Okay, we'll let you
I
have,
do.
we'll let you have the floor
do.
there. Go ahead.
I do. So as you're all, well, first of all, good evening, everyone. I apologize for shouting in your ears earlier. I'm at home right now with my two kids, and I want to make sure they're not getting into any mischief, which is kind of why I'm in the next room over. That's one of the few times I didn't have the mute button. You should have heard me in one of those. Anyway, so as you all are aware, the traffic signal at Wilson Bridge Drive was removed a few weeks ago. And it's a one-way ramp from southbound Maryland 210 to go into the Brookside condominiums. And we had a few issues in the beginning when the traffic switch occurred, where we had motorists who were inadvertently so accustomed to making that movement that they were entering the ramp the wrong way, and they found themselves heading in the wrong direction. So we made adjustments to that. We had the police were out there and trying to bring attention to the motorists so that they weren't causing any safety issues. So we made adjustments to the signing to stop that from happening. Ron Weiss had contacted me a couple weeks ago regarding the traffic along southbound 210. There was a road construction occurring. Our construction was doing repairs on the road. They were resurfacing a section of 210 from Swan Creek Road to Old Fort Road South. And as far as I'm aware, they're close to completing that direction. And we use that opportunity to stripe out the acceleration lane that was there. So that's kind of like a step one. A step two, obviously, is going to be putting in the flex post to deter motorists from using what is now the shoulder of southbound Maryland 210. And we're going to be putting up flex posts approaching Swan Creek Road to prevent motorists from using what is now the shoulder. And the same thing will be happening along northbound Maryland 210. The lag is in part because of the winter operations, which we're pretty much over. So now our maintenance shops are playing catch up with doing work orders along, around in and around their portion of the county. So that is on our, that is on our to-do list when we have our area-wide contractor go out and make the changes that we were proposing in the northbound direction. The contractor is supposed to start April 1st, and that's definitely going to be on our list of locations to make the changes for the acceleration lane from the Swan Creek Road, Livingston Road intersection northward. We'll try to make that so that the motorists can't use that as a bypass lane. We now have some additional homework in regards to trying to figure out what kind of engineering treatments we can put in for the speeding issues that continue on 210. And at this point, I think the project itself is making progress on 210 and Kirby Hill Road. The intent is to put once they get the noise walls up and address some of the stormwater management issues, that the final surface would occur with the final pavement markings being put in place along 210 and along Kirby Hill Road, including the permanent markings that would be installed on the concrete surface of the bridge. So that's
Okay, so, Peter, when are we looking at the completion of this project now? I think the last we heard was from last month's report was sometime in the summer. Has that been more defined?
I haven't heard anything differently. There's been a couple of utility issues that seem to keep on keeping on being a concern, and if they're able to address that, then then we'll be able to stay on the schedule. But the intent is at the very least in the summer to have the final surface installed. There's going to be punch list items for sure, because this job is that big that you can pretty much count on there being punch list items to addressed, but the main part of the final configuration is in place right now.
Last question I had for you, again, going back to the Swan Creek Road area. I understand you say the flex poles, they will be inserted, I guess, in those areas to keep people from going from one intersection to the other, to eliminate the broadsiding. So we're talking on both sides of the roadway, north and southbound. These would simultaneously be put in?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay. Is there someone, who's taking over David Jackson's spot?
Jamal Butler.
DeMar Butler?
Jamal.
Oh, Jamal.
Jamal Butler.
Okay, Jamal.
Yeah.
Butler. Okay,
He's really sharp. He's he's very quick. If he knows there's a safety issue, he knows exactly where to find me to address it as soon as possible.
okay. I will get with you to try to get his contact information to try to get him on board to with this meeting. Are there any other questions from the audience for Peter while we have him here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I knew you were going to come on, Andy. I knew you were going to come on.
I joined early just to talk to you, Peter.
How you doing?
Yeah, great. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you.
Question, the still ongoing question is the work in and about and around with the bridges, the new bridges. Concern as I did an email to you. Why do we start way down, as you just explained, down to 210, as opposed to up near the bridge for resurfacing? And when is the striping going to be redone up there on that bridge? Because I'm witnessing almost accidents, major accidents right there on that bridge because of the steep incline, no matter how you get to the top of that bridge down there. And the striping marking is just inadequate for the volume of traffic that's there.
Yeah. So from what I understand, they're putting in what's called inlay tape, and all that means is that when the final surface is being put in place, the markings will go in at the same time. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do the same thing along Kirby Hill Road, Livingston Road, but well, as a matter of fact, they'll be able to do it for the asphalt, but they're going to have to go in and install the paint markings on the bridge at a different time. But the idea is when the pavement marking contractor comes in, they're going to do it soon after the paving occurs. I don't know when the paving is going to begin for this, but the idea is that when the paving happens, the pavement markings would go in, the permanent ones. And that's really that's a time savings to do it that way. So I have been talking to construction. I asked that they put in the contrast tape, and they've been working with the contractor to include that as part of the project.
Okay, thank you. And I think the end part of the question was kind of alluded to a little bit earlier. Moving further down, as you were doing each intersection, what kind of plans we're looking at? And I hope it's nothing like we just experienced with this one here.
Me too. Well, it doesn't matter what kind of construction occurs, it's always messy. And the first thing they try to do every time is they want to make sure that they relocate all the utilities, so that way there aren't any obstacles in the way. That's the ideal situation. But like everyone saw in this project, they got as many utilities as they could out of the way so that they could do different pieces of the project. And unfortunately, that seems like that's the way, that's the way things had, go, because there's so much going on at the same time that it's that's probably one of the most difficult things to coordinate for a project. We're not far along. We're not far enough along yet to be able to give you anything positive, or at least to provide you an update other than what has been provided. They're scoping out what needs to be done, what they're considering doing, and I'm not exactly sure what concept plan they're going to go with at this point, but I do know that the plan that was initially vetted as part of the 2000 study is going to be different from, because of the change made at Kirby Hill Road. So there, I wish I could tell you more, but I know but part of looking at each of these interchanges, one of the continuing themes is how to address pedestrian bicycle safety, and the sort of like a sub-study to the main study is to look at providing some type of separate facility, north-south facility, to for pedestrians and bicyclists. So that's something that's kind of that's something that's been in the works. I think there's another meeting that's going to happen in the spring as an update regarding that project, but that's kind of part of this project because of the federal requirements that we have to abide by. So it's not the answer you were looking for. You're like, well, we're not going to be breaking ground anytime soon. But I wish I could tell you that we're ready to show you something, and this is what's going to be impacted. We're not there yet, unfortunately. I know that's something that keeps on coming up in the time that you've been, that I've been with you all. But the lights will go in sooner, I can tell you that. Your lights are gonna go.
Well-
They're coming in the fall.
Well, Peter, we know that you're being honest with us, and we appreciate the transparency that you are giving us. We know that things of this nature are basically politically propelled and promoted, and if we don't have the right type of people who are willing to do the fight, it will just sit there as it has been going on with the current project as we have. But that's a whole nother story. But we thank you for your reporting. I guess we'll be looking forward to, the completion of the overpass, but also the other things we can do in terms of this thing that Major Mitchell was speaking about, in terms of these other included enhancements. I think every little bit helps in terms of trying to address the behavior aspect of what's going on with Indian Head Highway, which has been the main culprit of our accidents by all studies concerned. So I want to open up now to just a general discussion for the remaining time we have from the floor for any and all concerns that anyone would have. Be there, there's no out of bounds questions, as long as it's dealing with the roadway, the traffic safety on 210, but I would like to open that up to our general audience between our two presenters. and just let someone just begin and we'll go from there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Mhm.
Hi, my name is Sandra Hall. I was just wondering, is there any reason why more lights, not lights, more cameras can't be installed along 210? And, and the ones that are there, are they active? Because they will pay for themselves if the fines are high enough.
Yes. Well, Sandra, let me dive right into you. You asked the right questions because we essentially, the camera issue started out back here, 2017. We started up this this committee where we had to fight actually a political policy that was in place, that the speed cameras were only in Prince George's County placed at either school zones or work zones. And we actually, through this committee's efforts, had to break through that policy to allow them to be utilized on roadways such as Maryland 210, other than these two aspects that I just spoke about. The idea at that time, I believe, and Ron Weiss is on with me. I think at the time we were trying to get maybe about 4 cameras. Actually, the first camera they gave us in 2018, they gave us 1 camera. And we had to go back the next year to go back to the General Assembly to fight for additional cameras. We were trying to get 6. We ended up getting 2 additional ones. The 2 additional ones, including the one that we have, which you'll see is a total of 3. They do and are active. They, in large measure, in my opinion, has been responsible for saving lives and at least garnering some regard and respect of slowing people down, although they have captured people going to speeds up to 161 miles per hour. But the fight to get more cameras is always a political battle with us. We were trying to actually get our fines to be more in semblance with the cruiser traffic fine levels. That, in other words, the cameras right now only issue an infraction fine of $40. Last year, we tried to up that again to parallel with the cruiser infraction standards that are in place. That failed, but we're going to try again. But it all had to go through the political realm. And so that's where we are in terms of additional cameras. It's a political fight. For those of you on this line here, I applaud you. I thank you, because you have concern not only for yourself, but your neighbors, your family, your friends. And you know what speed can do. You know what speed has done in the last 15 years on this roadway. In 15 miles of this roadway, we have lost close to 80 people, more than any other roadway of this condensed size in the state of Maryland. Speed has been the highest culprit of that. Now, you would think that would be a motivational factor for people to try to push for more cameras, more enforcement, more this and that. But they don't. We do have people who are fighting against us, who are not trying to allow the speed camera numbers to increase. But the long story short answer to your question is, we are for more cameras, we are for more enforcement, we are for more things to do to enhance the quality of life on this roadway, the longevity of life on this roadway, and the civility of life on this roadway. In the first 30 days of this year, we lost 4 people on the Indian Head Highway, 2 pedestrians, 2 vehicular traffic fatalities. And here again, it's the most that we have lost in a condensed period of time since we've been keeping record keeping since the 2008 tragedy when we lost 8 people. There are some people who are willing to live with that. They're willing to live as long as they have the ability to drive their cars at whatever speed they want to. We have been the antithesis of that and tried to bring some civility to all of us, including those who fight against us, to try to bring some speed. So long story short, yes, we do want more cameras. Yes, we would like to get more cameras, but it's fighting those political strongholds that are in place that you know, we have to take on. And I'm glad that you're one who obviously has an interest in you know, bringing more control by way of the speed cameras. They are 24/7 sentries. They do not stand down unless the people don't operate them. And they tell the true story of what is really going on in this highway. And what it tells us, from when we've had accurate data and consistent data, what it tells us is that we have a very dangerous highway where people still are doing reckless driving, still doing you know, out of bounds kind of speeding, and everything to like. So that's where our battle is, Ms. Hall, and you know, for your people like yourself and those on this line, we'll continue to try, and we'll continue to try to fight that battle with more cameras and other enforcement actions. Hopefully that we can prevail in the measure of time.
Reverend Robert, we have a hand raised by Dwayne Bowie.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Bowie.
Yes, hopefully this isn't out of bounds. My question is, and I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, when you try to cross 210 at the intersection of Livingston Road where it turns into Palmer Road, I think that's over by Mac Sunnybrook, on at least 3 quick occasions, that light is like stopped. And once you see cars backed up way past the Shell station, we've seen where the light doesn't change. And then you, unfortunately, you know, people are impatient and they take risky behavior. I'm not sure if anyone has seen that or reported that, but I've witnessed it 3 times in like the last 2 months where the light has not turned to green for the traffic that needs to cross from Livingston Road over 210 to Palmer Road.
Peter, were you aware of that?
No, I'm taking note of that, and I'll bring it to the attention of our single timing people to check it out.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Bowie,
Thank
thank
you.
you for bringing that up. In the same likeness, Peter, I'd like for you also to address, and I'm glad Mr. Bowie had talked about the lighting. If you, the northbound light at Indian Head Highway and I think it's 237 there at Livingston on one side, Accokeek Road on the other side, but you're making the left turn to go onto Livingston going westbound. If you're not right at the traffic light or traffic line there, that light will not change. The left turn light will not change. I mean, you have to be right on it. So there needs to be an extension of, you know, from, I guess, from the line going further south to capture the, because I've sat there about 3 lights where somebody was maybe 2-3 feet from the traffic line there, and the light won't change. So that's, if you can check on that as well.
This is on 373.
Is it 373? Yeah, they're one there at Livingston Road,
Yeah,
Accokeek Road on the other opposite side, making the left turn to go going westbound onto Livingston Road.
so are you on 210 trying to make the left turn?
Right, we're heading
Oh.
essentially northbound, but then we're making the left turn there to go westbound on Livingston Road.
All right, got it.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In regards to that, same, not that light in particular, but yes, I am, same light. In the morning, seemed like recently, the last, I'd say 3 or 4 weeks, going northbound on 210, the lights totally off sync right there between, I'm saying, was it Livingston Road, where the new grocery store is, and down there at Palmer Road and 210. Traffic backs up, and the light at Palmer Road switches so fast, you got just a constant backup of traffic coming north on 210.
Yeah.
I noticed that in the last, I'm gonna say month and a half. Is there something going on we don't know about as far as managing the signal light there?
Yeah, that's it. That's the old fort and down there by where the McDonald's used to be on the corner there. Old-
Yeah, yes, sir. And then the one where was just mentioned where Palmer Road is.
Yeah.
That's you got a constant, it's like start backing up. It don't take much, and it's
Is this in the
weekend,
morning?
weeks as well. Say again?
Is that in the morning?
Primarily,
Northbound?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Primarily,
okay,
yes, sir, it is.
Thank you. All right.
And it's throughout the week. It's not just one day. It's even
Right.
on the weekend,
Yeah.
the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Anyone else with a question? I want to thank all of you. I know we're kind of getting in our time zone here, but I want to thank all of you for tonight in your attendance. I do want to report to you that for those of us who have been following us in the first couple of months of this year, when we had an opportunity to do a couple of news spots, one on CNN, and the other was on News Channel 4. And we were speaking about the fatalities at that time, the 4 fatalities that, amassed themselves in a short period of time. Through the efforts of Ron Weiss, primarily, and your outreach and your, I guess your actions on your part, we've been able to accrue a number of HOAs and civic association support for the idea of increasing the fines for the cameras. In other words, removing it, elevating from the $40 fine that we have now in place to move it in the semblance of what the cruiser patrols are giving, in their standards, in their scheduling. And so I think if Ron will kind of back me up on this, I think we're talking somewhere around close to 5,000 people that are represented by these different groups. I want to applaud all of you for your efforts in that. We are going to use that in terms of letting those individuals know in this campaign year that we are supporting this initiative. And if you are running for office, our support is going to go with those who are supporting this initiative. Is something that is for the livelihood and well-being of all of us. And I think it's a good sign that so many of us who believe in traffic safety were willing to step forward and to give their support in the manner that has been given. So I want to applaud all of you for that. And thank you for your diligence in signing up your HOA or your civic association or whatever means that you have supported. I think there's a
It's a hand raised.
hand raised, yes.
Vaughn,
Yes, please.
unmute yourself.
Okay. I think someone's talking. You have to unmute yourself.
I'm not sure if you're trying to reach me, but did you say that David Jackson has left and that Jamal Butler is replacing him? And if
Yes.
so, will that information be in the weekly newsletter with his email?
Peter, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I will give you that information, Reverend Screen.
Okay.
I'll try and get that to you in the next couple days.
Okay. Thank you, Peter. And Ms. Huffman, I think, did that answer your question?
Yes, I mean, sometimes we have questions. I'm down here off of Murray Hill Drive, and so we're affected by the new bridge and new overpass. So.
Yeah, our intention is to get Mr. Butler with us on this meeting. I did not know who it was until Peter had just given us the information tonight. But I thank you for asking that question. We certainly want to have him here to answer all of our questions in the future.
Okay, Miss LaVaughn.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Laverne Mensa, and Well, my family was just affected by one of those accidents in January, my husband. And I did not know there was such a committee like this was going on. And Dr. Robert, if you,
Yes.
until you started talking about the homo, I was wondering, I was like, well, have you guys reached out to the homeowners association to let them know that there is such a committee that wants to have a better roadway on 210 for us out here? Because I've been here for 18 years and I've never heard of this committee. So, and the only way I came across it was through Nextdoor, when I think Miss Tamara posted something about it in there. So I was wondering how you guys are planning on reaching more people to be involved in such a I think a really good advocate for people
Yes.
on 210.
Yes, my partner in crime, Ron Weiss, has just flashed the number and the names of the different associations. There are 9 in number that we have. I'll just read them real quickly. The GACA organization, South Lawn, BMCA, Moyenon, I think it is, TSACA, TCA, TNACA, Hillendale, Simmons Acres. There's like 4,882 families represented in that number. And we're going to hopefully expand that number as we move forward through the year. But yes, we very much want to get a galvanizing force of all those who are concerned, such as yourself and others in these HOA and civic associations, to let them know that we are very much concerned about what's happening on Indian Head Highway and the type of things that are happening that are challenging all of our safeties.
Yeah.
And we all of us on this line here have been a part of this community for at least some type of significant number of years. And we came in existence in 2017 because in that particular year, we had lost about 7 people through roadway traffic fatalities. And as I say, in the last 15 years, we've lost close to 80 in about a 15-mile condensed segment of roadway. So we have a a lot of people say, oh, yeah, about Branch Avenue, what about this, and what about 301, what about there's no other roadway in such a condensed set of a stretch in a condensed form that has lost as much in such a short period of time. There's no other roadway that has lost 8 people at one time than Indian Head Highway at Pine Drive Indian Head Highway back in 2008. Now that's a record no other place in the state of Maryland owns but us. So we have some particulars that are very glaring. And that's why we're together to try to find a more manageable way by which we can coexist in a more safe way. And we know there are ways to do that, and hopefully we can all come together to do just that. But I thank you for your efforts. I thank you for your concern, and I pray that you may be able to let others know that they can come online as well and get their questions answered. And hopefully we can make them aware of the things we're trying to do to put in place for our better future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the next hand raised is Carla Cash.
Yes, Ms. Carla?
Good evening, everyone. This is Carla. I wanted to let everyone know about an event that we're putting together for Saturday, April the 23rd, and we're going to have it. Major Mitchell was gracious enough to host us. It's a distracted driving awareness and health event. And we're going to, and the reason why we're doing this is April is Distracted Driving Month, but also prom time is coming up. And so we want to be able to bring awareness, and also we want to be able to have people made more aware of distracted driving as what we're talking about tonight, but also just have people speak from different health perspectives. like have a physical therapist speak on how she has to rehabilitate people back that's been in, major car accidents, dentists, how they have, what they go through trying to get people's mouth and jaws back together. Also, we're going to have a couple pastors talk about the impact it has on families and the communities from when they have to eulogize someone who's been lost their life in one of the fatal accidents. And so we're going to have, like the crash car come out, simulators. We're going to have different people out. I'm inviting T-Mobile out because they are apps on these new smartphones that you can put on, like do not disturb or distracted mom, so that this year prom season, we won't have so many fatalities, and hopefully bringing awareness at this event, it will also help with our initiatives with 210.
Well, Carla, I want to thank you for announcing that. I wasn't sure whether you had solidified the, the dates in the event. So I didn't want to say anything prematurely, but what Carla has mentioned on the April 23rd, the distracted driving event there at the 7th District Police Station, we're 210 is Traffic Safety Committee is in full support of that, and hopefully we can all attend. And I want to encourage all of you to put that on your calendar as well. I think it'd be something that we can work together to get out common information, and also to work towards our date in June the 11th. For those who weren't on the line that I announced earlier in the call here, June 11th, we'll do another memorial event regarding those victims who have lost loved ones in the Ed Highway. We'll speak more to that as the months go on. But Carla, thank you so much for reminding us about April the 23rd. And so I'm assuming that's locked in now. So we certainly can
it's
move
locked
towards
in,
that.
and we're going to do from 10 to 4. And I know
Okay.
it kind of seems long, but we don't want to have all the speakers speak at one time. Like, I want to have it like staggered. And then I want, it to be an opportunity for more people to get involved and get engaged with
Okay.
this. And if you want more information, it's my nonprofit, and Major Carson, who used to be the captain down at District 4 Police Station, he has a nonprofit. So we came together to put on this event just because of all the things that are happening on 210. And then also all of the fatal accidents that happened during prom season.
Okay.
And I'll put my information in the chat.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Because I'm no longer with the council member's office, so this doesn't have anything to do with that. Let me just let everybody know it's our two organizations.
Okay. Well, Ms. Carla, thank you so much for that. I just want to insert one last thing. When I gave out the number of those who were the HOAs and the civic associations who have signed on to in support of the increased fines, we also have Whitehall Forest, who's also with us in terms of that support. So I want to make sure we give you lift them up in being a part of that defined group. That makes our total families represented the 5,157. So applaud yourselves, applaud each other for that great galvanizing show of support. And we thank all of you for being a part of that. Amen.
Hello, Reverend Doctor.
Yes.
This is George Satterthwaite from Piscataway Hills Citizens Association.
Uh-huh.
I want to make sure that we are part of the ones you mentioned, but I'm not sure you mentioned Piscataway Hills Citizens Association. I've been associated with you ever since you started
Okay.
in 2017. And I want to make sure we're Piscataway Hills. We have 178 family houses. Now that represents, that's the number of houses, not the number of people.
Right, understood. Yeah, I didn't see that number, but I don't know if your representative have gotten in touch with Ron Weiss. He was collecting those, but we certainly want to include you in if you are. And we certainly, if you haven't, we can make the connections to make sure that that happens, that we get you on the list.
I get the information about the meetings, and I've
Okay,
been to the past now. How will I give Ron make sure Ron has my address?
okay. Ron, are you still with us?
Yes, George, if you give me your email address, I will send you what I need.
Okay, it's G S the number 2 ND November Delta at AOL.com.
All right. Well, praise God. We grow as we a little bit more every moment here, and that's good. That's a good thing. Well, we thank you so much.
I'm sorry, Reverend Screen?
Yes, I'm sorry, I interrupted someone. Yes.
Yeah, Reverend Screen, this is Bill Leonard.
Uh-huh.
I got a question. I got just a quick question. Have we considered reaching out for any of the corporations that reside along Indian Head Highway for sponsorship for this committee as well? I mean, you got a lot of corporations represented along Indian Head Highway.
You know, that is it.
I was just going to think that anything happening on Indian Head Highway, negative incidents on Indian Head Highway affect all of their businesses. I mean, you got MGM as the gateway coming into Indian Head Highway off of the Beltway. So, you know, QVS, Giant Food, Safeway, there's a lot of corporations along there that we should be able to tap into to help them, to help us, you know, and make our voices louder, pretty much.
Yes. You know what, that is an excellent suggestion. I want to thank you for that. And I'll be quite honest, so something that is so myopic in our view, we just completely overlooked that particular aspect. I have personally, but you know, we're going to take that in not just in consideration, but we're going to take that in movement towards that. We'll probably, you know, I don't know exactly the methods, just hearing about it, but I really like the sound of that. And I think we probably can get, you know, some very important people. We have, you know, the car dealership. We have Giant Food. Yeah, Giant Food. And as you mentioned, a few others that are big namesake. And so we have to do our due diligence in reaching out to them as well. And I thank you for that suggestion.
Yeah, no problem. I just came to my mind and I'm sitting here listening. I'm saying, you know, there's things we can tap into here. So
well, they say the Lord works in mysterious ways. You never know which way one who's going to touch to bring out the good idea there. Well, any other comments, questions that we can entertain at this time? I would thank all of you for tonight. Our next meeting we have scheduled will be Monday, April the 18th, the third Monday of the month. I want to again applaud all of you for your participation and for your being safe. Please, you know, spread the word as much as you can. We want to try to galvanize as much support as we can, as we just were giving this suggestion about the businesses, but also each and every one of you is important. As we move into this campaign election year, we do want to make some significant headway and make the right kind of noise to the right type of doorways we need to knock on to be heard and to be recognized in the things that we feel is safe for ourselves and for all of our community neighbors. So I thank you again. God bless each and every one of you. I praise the Lord's blessings, keep all of us safe. And until next month, be safe, be well, and be blessed in the Lord. Amen.
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 Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Be safe.
Okay, have a good night.
Amen. Good night.
Amen. Good night.
All right now.